First they sparred and now they're going to fight. It's Petchtanong and Yuki Yoza. Yuki Yoza is pretty much the main character of this YouTube channel. But they've sparred before in various forms: kickboxing, Muay Thai, and boxing. Let's break it down. I'm professional mixed martial arts, 13-3 record, former Cage Warriors champion George Hardwick, and let's get into it. So let's put it back to the start and let's look at something interesting. It's these counter calf kicks from Yuki Yoza against the southpaw. We saw this a lot from Masaaki Noiri against Tawanchai. Tawanchai was doing really good, and a lot of people thought that Masaaki Noiri was just kind of getting outpointed and then finally blasted in a left hook to finish him. But he was constantly putting those low calf kicks in, even on the outside against the southpaw. And if you watch Bwakow's breakdown in reaction to that fight, he really highlighted those leg kicks, those calf kicks, inside and outside. Here we're going to see Petchtanong throw a left kick, and Yuki Yoza can't really throw his return because that left knee goes so far past the target that it off balances Yuki Yoza, almost like a knee shield. There's a cross parry into a low kick. He tries that same cross parry and still lands. That's the thing that Yuki Yoza will do that a lot of Japanese fighters won't do, that we didn't see Keito Ono do in his debut, we didn't see Masaaki Noiri do it in his debut, is just be happy to get any counter they can. There's an inside calf kick from Yuki Yoza. But Yuki Yoza, when we saw him against his opponent El Braus Osm, that's his Instagram handle, the Russian guy he fought, when we saw him fight, he just took any counter. If he took a knee, he would fire a calf kick. Obviously, often that inside calf kick works really well against a southpaw because their lead foot, especially a Thai southpaw, their lead foot is toed out, so it can throw that rear roundhouse kick really quickly so they can blast that inside calf kick. Yotan versus Chyla style in Rajmandan. Here is some boxing sparring. Petchtanong, very interesting, and just generally Thai's boxing sparring is very interesting because you'd expect them to have a lot of habits carry over from all the rounds of Thai and all that Thai fights have had. You'd think they'd be head in one place and very tall, but they all seem to fight, especially like a lot of the guys who were world boxing champions like Samart and Virapol. They all seem to box and boxing spar in this very different way. Like, they're all massive fans of Muhammad Ali, and this is secretly what they all wanted to do all along. And we're seeing Petchtanong do this. A lot of side-to-side movement, a lot of head movement, a lot of hands low. There's a jab, there's a cross to the body, and he's going to go cross to the head. See how he snuck his shoulder in slightly first with that second cross? So he sacrificed a little bit of power with that cross to the head. Let's find the moment he starts to sneak his lead shoulder forward. He's almost like he's taken a few frames out of the punch before he throws it. So there, he slips off to the side, he splits Yuki Yoza's jab. Yuki Yoza throwing the jab, and he moves his head slightly outside whilst digging the body with his own cross. Simultaneous counter, very effective, very nice. He's going to reset his stance, and when he resets, look, he's going to sneak this left shoulder forward ever so slightly, almost lean forward before throwing his punch. It's going to sacrifice power, but it can get to the target much quicker. We saw Samart Payakarun do this a lot in Muay Thai fights, in boxing fights. See how quickly he got to the target, sacrificed the power. He kept that elbow pointing down, elbow low, almost like karate style a little bit, ironically, against the Kyokushin karate guy. But that low Shotokan karate style punch where it fits through the middle, even if someone's got their gloves up. There's a counter check hook from Petchtanong. Very useful weapon for the southpaw against the orthodox, and vice versa. A lot of feints. He used his up jab there. Up jab's a very interesting one, especially from opposite stance, because if you're jabbing in that technical way, we'll break down this little bit of foot movement and defense from Yuki Yoza in a second, but if you're jabbing in that really technical way, where you keep your knuckles on the line with your eyebrow, your middle knuckle on line with your eyebrow, like how the teacher beginner to do, it might not penetrate the guard against an opposite stance because of the hand fight. Both lead shoulders and hands are in line. But jabbing from this up angle, it can pop through the middle. It can be effective, that up jab from opposite stance. So we're going to see a lot of faking, a lot of low hands from both of them. And there, Yuki Yoza pivots out. His foot ends up deep inside. He shoulder rolls the uppercut, and then he makes sure to pivot out. Very difficult angle, very dangerous, especially if it was kickboxing or Muay Thai. There he goes, uppercut into cross to the body, but Yuki Yoza hits him with a check hook, and he gets his left shoulder very high in case Petchtanong tries to fire back with his right hook, his lead right hook. I always butcher Petchtanong's name. Something about the pronunciation is very difficult. There's a little switch stance into jab, very interesting. Bit like Marvin Hagler in reverse, or like a prime Tony Ferguson here. He ends up orthodox almost for a second. He ends up orthodox, which is going to completely change the speed of his jab. There he threw his jab. If you've been used to someone southpaw and they have to cover a certain distance with their left hand and the left straight, it takes a certain amount of time. Then suddenly they go orthodox for a second and then just pop it as a jab. Very difficult framing off. Now here, this is from Petchtanong's Instagram, a reel uploaded a long while ago, and it really shows him getting the better here. You know, we don't know what stage of sparring or what the full round was like because it's edited quite heavily in Petchtanong's favour. He's just blitzing hand combinations into the kick, using the kick or using the knee to the body as a means to interrupt the turn. But even there, even though Petchtanong landed a lot in that exchange, we still saw the counter calf kick. Let's see if we can get the freeze frame here. So Yuki Yoza will fire low kicks with both hands high so he can fire in the pocket and keep that protection that is afforded by the big gloves. There's an outside kick. There's a calf kick from Yuki Yoza. The left calf kick is something very effective and something really good that all these Team Vaselos fighters, these Kyokushin fighters, the Takumi Teradas, the Masaki Noiris, what they all do really good is they attack the calf from different angles. Inside, outside, and they can left calf kick and they can right calf kick. A lot of times we see someone with a really good right calf kick and then as soon as someone switches stance, they haven't really adapted it. They're kicking the knee and they're causing themselves an injury. There's that Petchtanong left kick again where his left knee goes so far past the target. Boom, it kicks through the target. Here, see how that knee is so far past? It's almost like a little bit of a knee shield that you'd see in jiu-jitsu, but standing. And that's going to really delay the ability for Yuki Yoza to fire back, so Yuki Yoza can't really land. The key moment to land on someone who's kicking is whilst they're still on one leg, before they get 2 feet to the floor. And it's going to make it tricky for Yuki Yoza, and it's going to displace Yuki Yoza's hips, so he's not in a really good position to counter with punches. Super bad. But he's not really in a good position to counter with punches. Very nice. But yeah, if you look at a lot of the guys, they have a really good right calf kick and then someone switches stances or they come across a southpaw. They end up just booting the knee. They don't either have the nuance to kick inside on the calf very well. We see, you know, Tony Ferguson and Jan Blachowicz would do it with just sheer conditioning and sheer Polish power or El Kukui power. But a lot of the really good inside calf kickers are kind of curling the foot to kick the back of the calf almost. And then we see a lot of them like Masaki Noiri. He has a really good calf kick. He can throw it off his lead leg against someone else's lead leg, which he did against Tawanchai, and Yuki Yoza is very capable of. If you've liked the breakdown, let me know what I should break down next. Subscribe, do all of that Al Gore rhythmic nonsense, and just have yourself a nice day. Get yourself a soup if it's cold. Even if it's a hot day, just have the soup, but straight out the tin.